You guys have decided on doing a little bit of downtime here. I know Stig has already kind of done his. He was going to do a week of, at least a week of doing some religious stuff. I don't know if you guys, how long you want to do downtime for. I think the general gist is it's going to be about 7 weeks for people to complete things, but they can take it with them. So as a group, do you guys have any preference one way or the other?
No preference.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, it's
I could play Matt's character.
If you want to, you're more than welcome to.
Heck yeah, he can loan Milton 100 gold pieces and he'll forget about it.
I see why now.
I'll play his character just in case we need.
All right. Sounds good. So I think probably what we'll do is we'll say at least for now it's a couple weeks of downtime, and then we can kind of decide after this session where you guys end up going or what's going on if you decide to stay longer, and if not, then William can definitely pack up his stuff as well as Melton, and you guys can finish it up at another town or whatever. So I know Barry, you had mentioned something about doing religious stuff. Is that correct as well?
Religious stuff, and then
Oh, that's right.
just because Tamora is more about, not so much about the temple, more about actually interacting with the people instead.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're going to do a little carousing. I think even the low class and middle class is what you were looking at, I think, right?
Heck yeah, they're the ones that need my luck the most.
Absolutely. All right, sounds good. And then for Releni, I think you were going to do some kind of research on some animals and things like that. Is that right?
Yeah, I was gonna visit the library and see if I could get any information on different large animals in the area, or whatever research they might have, and kind of study up on those for my combat wild shape. Maybe visit a zoo.
Oh, there you go. I like it. Any particular large creature you were looking for in general, such as really exotic stuff, or kind of more of a sort of a out of game, sort of like a third party type of stuff?
I actually hadn't even really thought about it.
I know, right? I'll figure it out.
Yeah, whatever's normal. I'm not looking for dinosaurs or anything like that. Just
Gotcha.
Kinda, bigger, better, badder type of things.
All right, cool. Sounds good. And then, Melton, you're working on your disguise kit, is that correct?
Yep, training up disguise kit.
All right, gotcha. And then, Stig, so you were going to do a week of religion stuff, and then you said maybe a week of, what was the other thing you were going to do?
I was going to use my favor for the other one, so I'll just I'll fish and explore the bay out here.
Oh, okay.
The fishermen out and
All right.
spread helm that way, spreading fish around, but not for a favor or nothing.
Okay, gotcha. Alrighty. Prior to this, everybody getting here, Stig had decided just kind of do his rolls real quick just to see, how things would go and whatnot. And Stig, you've spent many times kind of working in the Temple of Helm here in town. I did open up a map of the city of Yartar. There's the city. On the west side of that river, there's that bridge. If you remember, there was a citadel, and Thuggelis kind of crashed into it with the caravan, and you guys were kind of outside there, and then you had gone just inside the city gates on the east side of the river, and gone into the large city that's there, and had met up with the Rosolio Manor, which was just kind of on the western edge of that wall section there. Should have been right there. There's a pink or purplish kind of box. That's sort of the center of town, essentially. The city hall is there, as well as a large marketplace and a lot of the areas of interest. Up on that large castle area, or that large mountain kind of in the center, is kind of where the noble city family sort of lives and whatnot, is up that way. And then you can see to the southwest corner, there's a bunch of docks. There's a lot of boats that come through here. There's a lot of travel that kind of traverses through Yartar. And we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. So anyways, that's just kind of the brief overview of the map. So Stig, yeah, you're...
I think you cut out, Greg.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you catch me that time?
Yeah, we heard that. Whereabouts is the Capitol building?
Yeah, so the Capitol building is located right there.
Okay.
And then up on this large hill over here is kind of where the kind of the noble families, as well as the leader of Yartar, kind of lives up into that hill area there, which kind of overlooks the entire city. And then just south of the Capitol building is a bunch of a large marketplace and a lot of the inns and general stuff kind of in the center there. So Stig, when you were in the Temple of Helm, kind of, obviously praying to Helm as well as speaking with many of the elders there, you had kind of brought up about your shield, I think it was, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so through your time of speaking, obviously, with them as well as everybody else, you had found out a lot more information about the shield itself. You found out that, and I think some of this may have come out already, but I can't remember if it did, but just bear with me if I've already told you this. So the shield was once given to one of Helm's Solars, who was one of his most favored and potent Solar that was there in the service of him. He kind of stood as the god's right-hand man and carried out sort of the invincible will and defended the faithful against depredations of Bane as well as other enemies of the faith. His influence was so great that many of Helm's worshippers ended up praying not directly to Helm, but they actually prayed to Miracle for intercession. And once this happened, Miracle kind of became more arrogant and prideful, or maybe even Bane or someone else kind of manipulated him. But the story is that Miracle kind of claimed godhood for himself and tried to challenge Helm for the right to be the deity of valor. Helm, of course, defeated Solar and with great sadness kind of cast him down into the 9 hells. And as he did that, Miracle's shield was separated from him as he fell, but it came to rest in the material plane, and Helm sort of buried it into this old temple that was kind of tucked away that he felt that nobody would ever find. As he did that, he sent Chiron.
You cut out.
Thanks. He separated it from him. It fell down, and the Chiron kind of protected the temple to prevent him from prevent someone of evil taking the shield. So you've recognized that his name was written on the shield. I think Barry helped you with that way in the past. And you had heard that the story is that there was a paladin named Hinsa who had discovered it and carried it for several years, vanquishing many foes with it. However, Hinsa had noticed that there seemed to be some sort of a darkness that was rotting the core of the goodness within the shield itself. And the power seemed to be benign initially, and seemed to be helpful, but it became very dark and unholy and sort of started to sear the soul and the crushing hope of Hinsa himself. So he did everything in his ability to try to restore the purity back to the shield, but he was unable to do so. So then he ended up casting it away as well for a period of time and was put back into the temple itself. So that's kind of what you had learned about it. You also have found out that depending on certain deeds that are done with the bearer of the shield could either lead to either the goodness of the shield coming out or the evilness of the shield coming out. And come to find out that most of the priests and everything at the church said that only someone of true neutrality could potentially control the shield itself. However, they said that there's a lot of concern about the shield taking over the soul of a certain being and causing them to become either good or evil.
So did killing the goblin, is that more evil?
So that's the interesting thing. The priests think that that's why the spikes have sort of popped up along the edges there. They said that it's not good, or they, not that it was good or evil, but they said that the killing of someone helpless may have caused the shield to do that. However, there's balance in everything. So with every act that's considered evil, there may be an act that's considered good, but it would dictate what the shield's powers would become.
Okay. Good thing I'm soulless and I'm a lizard folk.
Yep, I get it.
No, okay.
I get it completely. So that's kind of the thing. And then you also, during that time, had Helm or the priest or whoever had kind of spoke to you and said that the shield definitely will continue to gain power as time goes on and with uses, and a lot of times those powers may show up at unexpected times for you, and it could be scary as well as could be very rewarding. So that's kind of what they had talked about with the shield.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty. And then you had done that. Okay, gotcha. Excellent. And then I think that Bailey, you were going to do, or Barry, you were going to do something similar, I believe, right, with the religion?
Yep.
Alrighty. So you have a choice. You can either do a roll of your religion, or you can do a persuasion.
Let's go with persuasion.
All right, sounds good. You can roll in the open. That's fine. Nice. So you also gain a favor. So you've spent your time spreading the word of Tymora to the folk, as well as to many of the people within the marketplace itself. Is there anything in particular that you would be looking for with your omen? So I don't know if you had a chance to look at that. You can either save that for kind of an intervention from your gods, a vision, a minor miracle, or if you wanted to do some research on something that was religious in nature, you could do that as well. Or you can hang on to it and maybe have it used in the future.
I think I'd like to hang on to it if that's okay.
Of course it is. And what's your charisma modifier?
4.
4. Okay, so you can have up to 5 sort of favors saved for you for the future. And then, so that was the first week. Relenia, you were going to do some research, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry, Barry, can you roll a percentile dice too for me, please? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And then, Relenia, you were going to do some just kind of researching in the library and whatnot. I will have you, if you don't mind, if you could give me a investigation or... investigation if you want to, that'd be fine.
Alright.
Ooh.
Yes, I didn't even find the library.
Yeah, yeah, hard time finding it. What's your intelligence? Is it -1? It is, isn't it? Or is it +1?
It's +1.
It's +1. Okay, gotcha. I was just trying to check here and see after 1 week makes intelligence checks with +1 bonus. Okay. So you do some research. You find out that unfortunately they don't have a zoo, much to your dismay. And definitely kind of looking around, you find a lot of material on typical animals that you know of already. However, you know that the group's going to be here another week, and the library is pretty vast. So there's definitely probably more opportunities for research if you decide to do that again. So,
Right. Okay.
I think it sounded like everybody's okay with the second week. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. So, Relenia, why don't you go ahead and give me another roll? I assume you're going to probably research again for another week. Or did you have something else you wanted to do?
No, I'll do that.
All right, sounds good. There you go. Excellent. So you are able to, after kind of digging into the books and looking a little bit longer, you definitely are able to find more materials and things to check on. You do see that there's definitely some creatures that more of kind of an underdark type of thing that you've not really explored or read about that sound pretty fascinating to you. And kind of looking at them and checking things out. I have one here. I just have to find it. You were able to kind of really dig through and find things of the sort. And if you want, you can use it for combat wild shape. And I'll bring it up here in just a sec. I just have to find it.
Alrighty.
And then, sorry, Melton, I assume you're kind of just continuing to work on your thing over there. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
All right, that's what I figured. So I didn't want to make you feel like you were out of sorts there. So
unless I can find somebody, somebody that can make some money.
trying to make a little cash on the side, right? The other thing, I don't know if you want to look through it. If you guys have stuff to sell, you could look and see if there's something there.
Remember, there is a casino here.
There is. Relenia, you can take to CR1, is that correct at this point? Or is it CR2? I can't remember.
CR1, yeah.
CR1, that's what I thought.
Although it'll be CR3 here in a second.
Well,
Or,
level
excuse me,
6?
CR2. Yeah, at level 6.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's a nice little jump right there.
Yeah, it's a very nice jump. So the creature that you're able to research, Relenia, is a large beast that mainly lives underground. It appears to be kind of what you would examine as sort of like an ant. But it's obviously the size of a draft horse. It has interesting stats, to be honest with you. I think you may like it, and it's pretty cool. So I'll share it with you here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Has a nice bite that's with it, as well as a sting. And the sting does cause poison damage. Does have blind sight as well, which is pretty advantage. Yeah. So for the next level, you'll definitely have that'll be available for you.
That one treated me good in the past.
Yeah, that's why I grabbed it, because I remember it was pretty awesome. So it's fun. Alrighty. So back to Barry. Barry, you were going to do a little carousing next, is that right? Or were you going to want to do more
Yep.
research? Alrighty. So kind of working around. Anything in particular you want to do as a carousing activity?
No, I think I would just find, whether it's the casino or just hang out at, one of the taverns and, just strike up some conversations with people. And if they're down on their luck, just, kind of help them out. Give
Yeah.
them good advice or, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you're the casino is you guys have been in town for a couple weeks now, so you've really got the general lay of the land and whatnot. You know about the casino. It's called the Golden Dame. Essentially, what it does is it cruises every night, kind of like a riverboat, if you want to think it as such. Leaves from the docks. Has a lot of nobles that go there. That people are usually very elegantly dressed, and they have to pay a large fee to get in. And you do know from discussions and whatnot, just as for everybody in general, that it's definitely something that the elite of the elite kind of travel on and are in and doing and whatnot. So for your carousing, if you don't mind, I will have you. Let's see. You're not a noble background, are you?
I am not.
Okay, gotcha. So what we will probably have you do, let me see what we have here. So it's just going to be a persuasion check, if you don't mind. Nice, very nice. Okay, so you actually make an allied contact, which is really good. So as you are kind of out and about, milling about, trying to pick people up on their luck and whatnot, need to open up one thing here. You are down kind of at a tavern that kind of sort of tickles your fancy a little bit, and the name of it is One Foot in the Boat. It's right down by the docks. It's always kind of a little bit noisy, and it's always a little too crowded, kind of, if you can think of if you've ever been to one of the college bars, where you're kind of packed in there like sardines, with everybody kind of pushing against each other and whatnot. But you did kind of meet quite a few people there, and kind of chatting with people and just generally having a good time talking and whatnot. And you did meet somebody who initially kind of portrayed themselves as sort of a not a ruffian, but somebody that just kind of hangs out, kind of in the streets as a commoner and whatnot. And come to find out that you guys kind of really struck it up. It's another halfling, I believe. I have to see here. I think that's coincidental, but let me just make sure here. Let's see what she is. Yeah, so It's actually not a halfling. It's just a young human female. She kind of has some dirty blonde hair and really kind of a square jaw. And the thing that kind of struck you is you see there's kind of this big scar that sort of runs kind of along the side of her hairline on the side of her face, and then kind of comes around to the upper lip. It's it's pretty noticeable. A lot of people kind of push her away, and she sort of introduced herself. She says, hey, my name's Sally, and, kind of talking with you and whatnot. And eventually you guys become pretty good friends and chatting about things. And she says, probably about 4 or 5 days into your guys' general conversation, she's always there, too, which is kind of interesting. And she's like, so, what really brings you into Yartar? What are you here for?
Well, my friends and I are on a mission from our faction, the Lords of Alliance. So we're out tracking some of this business going on with the giants in this area.
Ah, I see. Well, you're in good company. Of course, you know this town is run by the Lords Alliance, so I'm glad to hear it. If you ever get into any trouble, my little faction maybe will help you out as well.
Oh yeah? Who do you work for?
We're maybe not so public as yours, per se, but you ever heard of the Hand of Yartar?
I don't believe I have.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear that. And she kind of pulls you over to the side and kind of sits down at the table, and she's like, Hand of Yartar. It's the, I guess, what do you want to call it? The local, the real law of the town, I guess. We kind of work in the shadows. We kind of take care of things behind the scenes, sort of things. So it's always good to have a friend in the hand. I have to be honest with you.
Oh, well, that sounds, really, really shady, but in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. We like it that way. A little shady, I guess you'd say. I have to be honest with you, though. I would definitely avoid some of the, the back alleys at night. We try to keep them under control, of course, but on occasion people may, drop something or lose something, or something can occur. So, I'm more than happy to show you what places to avoid, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that would be great. And if you know of any shops that we should stay away from, places that might, scam us or anything, I appreciate that too.
Yes, you bet. I have to be honest with you. I would definitely stay away from Hasklar's arms and armor. Way overpriced stuff. I can get you much cheaper things, and to be honest, some things that aren't really sold here, I may be able to help you find if you're looking for something in particular.
Wow, that's good to know. I don't know. I'm not looking for anything right now, but if any of my friends are, I'll let you know.
Yeah, definitely. And if you ever you need anything, or if somebody ends up missing, maybe one of your friends, and you're not sure where they're at, just ask for Scimitar Sally. I'll be happy to take care of whatever you're missing. I promise. Oh, and if you need any information either on the ongoings in town, I probably could help you out.
Well, Sally, that sounds like an amazing thing.
Yeah, I'm here every night, so I kind of sort of hang out here and just make sure that there's no new trouble coming into town. She does indicate to you, kind of in your discussions and whatnot, that she's sort of one of the forefront of the obviously the Thieves Guild that works here, called the Hand of Yartar. They seem to have it's well known that they're in town and they're here, but not many people know about who's kind of running it and whatnot. So she does definitely look like she's had battle before. She does look like she's definitely somebody that potentially could cause issues for someone who crosses her and whatnot. So, but you have noticed every night she's been there. So yeah. Do you mind also a percentage die for me? And I forgot, Relenia, do you mind a percentage die from you as well for me real quick? I'm sorry. Perfect. Thank you, Barry. Appreciate it. And then, let's see. Stig, you were going to do one other thing, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't see anything particularly for it, but I want to try and warm these guys up to lizard folk. So I was going to swim around the river and try and help the fishermen.
Oh, okay.
Show them where the fish are, and
yeah.
Kind of talk to the guards and offer them fish I get.
Sure.
Kind of warm people up to the lizard folk.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you go ahead and do a persuasion roll for me? So, you definitely give it your best try, right? You're out there swimming around and catching fish and whatnot, and the guards they seem to be a little bit more entertained than anything else, and you notice, about the third or fourth day of kind of trying to warm them up, you see they're now taking bets on the size fish that you're taking and bringing in and whatnot. The guards, they seem to be kind of interested in it, maybe necessarily, but yeah, right. But they don't really seem to warm up to you very much, and it almost seems like you're that kid that's just trying a little too hard to sort of fit in with everybody else, and just doesn't go quite as you had hoped. However, the town has commented about how the fish have definitely are a lot larger than what the fishermen are able to catch or bring in, so they're pretty impressed by that. But unfortunately, not much else from that.
It's understandable. It'll take time. They'll warm up.
Yeah, they'll warm
There's
up.
my percentages.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was close.
It was in line with the roll.
Yeah, so, yeah, right, it was. So, with a couple weeks, and for Melton, you too as well, kind of working on the disguise kit and, kind of going around town and practicing your wares and figuring out what needs to be in the bag and, kind of working with people. You've also heard about the Hand of Yartar as well, Melton. However, you have just heard in brief that that's typically the people that do the disguise kits. You're not even sure if the guy that's helping you is really part of that.
Oh.
So since you guys have been in town, you have found that the town is essentially run by the Lord's Alliance. So this is a very friendly town for you all, except for Relenia, of course. But Relenia, there's no ill will towards you at all with being in town. You see that there's this town is not really a pass-through town, essentially. It's really a town where most people live. There's a lot of caravans that kind of come through here. You also find out that there is a ruler who is essentially someone of the Lord's Alliance, and her title is the Water Baron of Yartar, but her name is Nestra Ruthiel. She's known to be a female who is very friendly, but sort of a nonsense when it comes to business and whatnot. And she is known to take visitors from time to time. And you do know that the Shields of Yartar is essentially the guards that protect the area itself.
We actually need to talk to her too, because she was investigating the missing children.
Correct, that's right. Rosolio, Madame Rosolio, Lady Dezelia, had told you that she was examining the missing children and whatnot. You're right. You also know that there's a large marketplace here. Pretty much anything except for extremely rare things can be bought in Yartar. You do have recognized that there is a way to buy and sell magical items. However, they don't have like a magic shop per se. So if you wanted to sell something that was magical or whatnot, you may have to, if you want to get the best money, you'd probably have to research or not research, but look around and see if you could find somebody. Maybe somebody in the Hand of Yartar could help out. You've recognized that. There's definitely several different buildings and shops and whatnot that are here, and really depending on what you're interested in, I guess would be where we go with that.
So, for the party, in the inventory, William had a bunch of stuff in his haversack, which is art items. I threw those in the inventory. If anybody wants to keep any of this stuff, let me know. And if not, Milton could try to see if we could fence this stuff and get a decent price for it.
Yeah, Relenia took that pot, the flower pot.
Okie dokie.
All right, so you guys are looking to kind of sell this?
Yeah, Melton, that sounds like a good idea.
Alrighty.
I'll do detect magic and see if any of it's magical, so we get best price for it if possible.
Sounds good. I think it's all identified. I don't think any of it's magical. Is that right, Brian? The ones you dragged in there?
Yeah, everything that I
Okay,
saw
cool.
was identified.
Oh, okay.
That's all right, though. Yeah, no, 100%. So I would probably have.
Melton, where are you going to try to get rid of this?
Well, I was gonna ask around and see who could who we could give it to, and I was thinking about trying out my disguise kit or disguising myself as like a rich noble and see if I could get a good price for it.
Oh, so you're gonna try to get rid of it on the sly?
Well, I figured that instead of a short deep gnome, they don't they maybe give me a better price if I look like an important person.
Okay. I was just gonna say I have made a contact with one of the locals around here who might be able to point us to a good place to get rid of this stuff.
Well, that would be very helpful.
If that doesn't work out, I'm in good with the guards.
Do you want to see if my contact can point us to a good place, or talk to the guards first?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's whatever you want to do. I mean, I'm kind of busy on my disguise kit stuff, but I could always practice a little bit.
You may want to try Bailey's first, and then if that falls through, I can talk to my guard friends. I'm not sure they warmed up to me yet.
Well, I'm just thinking that my contact might, point us to the place where we get the best price, and then you can go in and negotiate. As, whatever disguise that you would prefer.
I think I'm going to a halfling this time, not a goblin.
Halflings are the best.
The one place that Lady Desire suggested was the Winter Winds.
That's correct.
What is that?
It was a shop and equipment, is what she told us.
Yep. That's right.
Oh. Well, we can just head there then.
So you guys head in that direction, and as you go in, you do see it's a very nice shop. It's very well put together. You see that it's sort of in kind of the nicer section of the marketplace. It does seem to be kind of segregated out into caste sort of areas. And there's a very nice gold chalice on the sign that's there, and the windows you see are very nicely cleaned and preened, and you see fresh flowers that are sort of cut kind of in vases inside there, and the place appears to be fairly well stocked, and obviously the door is closed, but appears to be welcoming for you to come in if you would like.
Shall we?
Absolutely.
So you guys enter into the shop, and you see a very tall, elvish woman standing behind the counter there, kind of working on, looks like actually trimming some flowers to put in her vases that she has there. And as she looks over, she says, "Good day. How can I help you?"
Oh, well, yes, I have some family heirlooms, and we were just clearing out the rabble, and I was wondering what kind of price you could give to me. I understand that you are a very good trader.
Ah, yes. I appreciate that. And who sent you? I'd love to tell them thank you for sending me business.
You're there, Barry?
It was Lady Desire.
It was Lady Desire that sent me.
Oh, and how is her son? Is he any better, Artan?
We didn't discuss that.
Terrible things.
Oh,
Well, he's the one we rescued.
Correct.
yeah, he's doing much better.
Oh, good. I
He's
heard.
not a fish person anymore or whatever.
Oh, well, thank goodness for that.
So that's good.
Yes. Oh, I can't imagine. Oh, if my children were affected, I'd be very sad. But I have to be honest with you. There's something wrong with that boy. Anyways, back to business. Yes, please, what do you have?
Oh, I have these nice items here. That's just some riffraff stuff that we had laying about.
She
I
kind
was
of...
wondering if you could, we could get come to a bargain on the price of these.
Sure. Let me look at it. And so she looks at each item, and you sort of, I assume, probably give a description of the items of some sort.
I do, especially actually with the puppets. I do a demonstration with the puppets
Very nice. So,
and start making little gestures and talking to myself and to the other puppet.
I love it.
Relenia watches this in amazement as she's never seen a puppet show.
That's awesome. Can I have a...
Make like little sounds,
Yeah, absolutely.
background music as he does this.
I love it. Absolutely. Why don't we... Stig, anything for you, buddy? You doing anything with this?
I'm looking at my spells right now.
All right, gotcha. Barry, why don't you go ahead and you can either do a... if you want to do a spell, you can do a spell to make sounds, or if you want...
Minor illusion.
Sure, you can definitely do that. And then I think for Relenia, I think that if you could do a persuasion check for me to show that you're thoroughly enthralled in this, that would be great. And then Melton. Nice picture, Melton.
I'll do a light, so I'll cast light on my finger and use it as a spotlight for the puppet show.
Nice. I love it.
And as Mountain's doing the puppet show, can I do a guidance on him?
You absolutely can, 100%. And then Melton, since we have several co-actors helping you out, with advantage, if you can roll a persuasion roll, that would be great.
You want it in the tower or in the open?
Nah, you can put it in the open. That's fine.
You know, next time we just need to be a traveling bard show.
I agree, 100%. So you rolled a 21?
I did.
She's like, "Wow, this stuff is amazing." She says,
especially this puppet thing.
"Oh, the puppet is just unbelievable." And she kind of looks around and she says, "I can't believe how good this is." And she looks at the puppet. She says, Does it do this all the time?" Please tell me it does.
It can if you operate it correctly. Yes.
You just need to practice with it a bit.
She's like, "Wow, that is amazing." So she kind of looks at it and she says, I love the puppet. She says, "I don't have a lot of money. I don't think I can afford everything else, but I can buy the puppet."
What's your price for the puppets? I'm saying it's at least worth 3,000 gold pieces.
She said, 3,000? Deal. That's a steal.
Holy shit.
She reaches over and pulls out, and she has, what is that, 300 platinum? Where's William when I need him?